Hello and welcome to PRL Season 16, Round 13, here at USA, my involuntary home country. As you can see, we have a relatively decent turnout when you think about the World Cup game that is on, being summer, that having that heat, being inside playing F1 all day. So we've got a good turnout. We've got extremely quick drivers. We've got all the recipes for a good race. It's looking dry at the moment. Whether that will change later in the session or the race, I don't know. Hopefully one of the drivers will actually no, I hope none of the drivers tell me, because I like, it's best we keep it interesting. So yeah, 12 drivers out. I wasn't given the I was given the standings, but I haven't checked the standings in a while. I believe Michael is 21 points ahead of Decky and 37 points ahead of Falcon, so I'll go on board with him. VGIA Michael, the name change again, he's having a terrific season, and he's pretty much got one foot placed firmly up on the one hand firmly on the winner's trophy. But it's not all over. We have extremely quick drivers, and I can't stress that enough. Decky, Lewis, Falcon, Joom, Mitch. Harry's not racing, unfortunately, but we have a huge talent pool in this grid. So Michael's not, he can't go off the gas pedal at any point. I'm gonna go send the stream links out. While I do that, you can ride on board with the championship leader. So Rick in the comments making the prediction of Decky, Michael, and I just saw Michael downshift there into 6th. It's not the preferred method, but yeah. Anyway, Decky, Michael, and Neo for the podium is what Rick is suggesting. I think that's a solid. No, that's not solid at all. I think if I had to put my money on someone, if I had to put my house on someone, it would be to this guy who's no longer in the session. Out of the race. I think that's in the S's. That is a dangerous part of the track, so I'm not surprised there. And Jeff's Revenge, I believe that is no longer part of the session. But as I was saying, if I had to put my money on someone, it would definitely be Lewis. Lewis is a monster on this track. I have first-hand experience of this. So yeah, if anyone's gonna do it, I expect it to be him on that top step. He's sort of a dark horse in this. He's not part of the championship, but he's definitely part of the championship fighting duo in terms of speed. So definitely expect to see him up there for this race. Mike went a bit wide there. Whether that invalidated the lap, I don't think so, because he's taking a normal line. So first lap of the day, 32.7. Not a bad lap at all. Not a bad banker at all. Sorry, that wasn't Jeff's Revenge who was out. That was Killer Blue. Sorry, my TV's terrible. I can barely see. Killer Blue is out. Jeff's Revenge is still in the race. Smithy complained that there's only 12 people in the session. Smithy, maybe if you had actually joined, we'd have more. I don't know what you're complaining about. As the laps are flying in, Decky puts a 32.8, same time as Falcon. So I mean, there you go. Close grid. Jari coming down the, let's use closest of ending their lap. Lewis is about to start his lap. He has Mitch in front of him, so hopefully Mitch doesn't get in his way. Jim's about to end his lap, as is... Yeah, Jim's about to end his lap, so I was practicing with Jim. He seems very solid around here, so I expect big things from him. He could sneak himself, if he can keep those penalties in the check, which I've seen him struggle to do, he could definitely snatch a podium. He goes pole with a 32.5. It's a great lap from Joom. I saw him miss the apex there, so maybe there's even more time in that. So great lap from Joom. He's definitely strong around this track. I can tell you that from the practice session I had with him. So Joom heads the grid in this first round. Just Revenge. I think he's about to start his lap. Maybe invalidated the previous one. Decky doing his best to get out of the way of Mitch. Does it for Lewis as well. So these two are going to cross the line as third. We'll see where they go. I imagine if Lewis had a clean lap, he could stick himself in pole position. Mitch could obviously do the exact same. I find it funny how Joom has just slapped down that 32.5. No, Mitch pulled into the pit, so he's going to abandon that lap. I find it funny how Joom did that 32.5 so easily. Lewis goes top 32.3. Yeesh. Absolute yeesh. What a lap. That's a banker. That's a banker lap, keep in mind. So yeah, Lewis goes pole. As I was saying, I find it very funny how Joom, who set that 32.5, he's probably going to improve on his lap later in the session. He's probably going to do like a low 32. I find it funny that he can be so good in qualifying, but he'll probably get a lot of penalties in the race. It's just crazy the difference in driving from race to qualifying. It's not the same ball game whatsoever. So Jari is done that. Don't know how he's managed that. He's opted not to pit. So here comes Jess Revenge. For the last round of the times, and he puts it in 6th place. Solid lap from him. And that'll do it for this first round of laps. I don't believe Jari's on a lap. No, I don't think so. So that'll do it. Lewis, that won't do it for the whole session, obviously. Lewis, 32.3, insane lap from him. Joom sticks it in second ahead of Michael and Falcon, the two warring teammates. Have just over 4 minutes left in the session. I imagine Lewis is only going to get one more run. He's not going to be able to fill for 2 laps and get back out again. So he's going to have to nail it if he wants to improve on his lap. Decky in a 5th place, very foreign position to him, I imagine. Jeff Revenge in 6th ahead of Gary Donegan, who got a brilliant result last week in Singapore. YH down in 8th place, Jari 9th, Neo 10th, and Machinery in 11th. Those drivers yet to set a lap, and of course Killer Blue in 12th place out of the session. Speaking of Singapore, let's have a little rundown. Of last week. So Michael took pole with a 36.2, a great lap from him. Harry took, I think Harry started 5th on the grid with a 36.8 on super softs, which was an insane lap from him. So off the start, it was looking good for Mike. He had it in front of Machinery. Mitch actually let Falcon go through, and then rain came, which made the race very interesting. Falcon with an inspired pit strategy. He pit for Inters a lap before anyone else, and he came out from 3rd place after he lost the position back to Mitch again, all the way in 1st. And it was looking smooth sailing for him, but he just it's like it went to his head, and he went into the pits again, this time for wets, thinking he could do the same thing. It failed catastrophically, and Mike was handed back the lead. Obviously in the wet we know that Mitch is an absolute god, and he overtook Michael. Michael will tell you he wasn't trying. He's lying. Mitch won the race by a clear margin. A dominating performance from him. Michael took 2nd, and the main story, the only one I cared about, to be honest, was Gary, his first ever podium position in PRL, I must say. It was a hectic race all around, not even in the way of overtakes. There was barely an overtake, to be honest, but just so intriguing, the changing weather conditions. As who's that is that Joom out of the I'm messing up here. Oh, Neo set a lap, and he's called it a day. Okay, yeah, Neo set 32.4. He's happy with that. He's retired from the session. Falcon missing the apex a bit won't hurt him too much, I imagine. This is his back end. Decky's about to set himself up for a lap. So is the absolute GOAT, Gary Donegan. Mitch setting himself up for a lap as well. So Michael and Falcon, one of the few drivers out on a lap. We'll see what the Toro Rosso boys can do. I have to stop trying to stop staying on board with the cars for so long. Give the whole bodywork a bit of camera time. Give the sponsors what they want. I feel like it's hard to tell off board the sense of speed, the sense of if it's a good time or not. That's a good time though. Michael with a 32.3 sticks it on pole, and Mitch shuts him up, sticks it on pole. Look at how close that is from everyone in the top 5 really, and there's still some more laps to be put down. On board with Lewis, he's about to start his lap. Falcon goes pole with a 32.2. This is a great qualifying session. Wow. Jimmy's about to start his lap. Decky's on his lap, or is he? Should be on his lap, yeah. I think all these guys are done. They're happy with their lap. We're right on board with Lewis, because if he can nail his lap, expect a stonker. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see if Jim can navigate these S's. He may have cut there. I don't think he did. Navigates them well enough, it looks like. We'll go back on board with Lewis. He's about to end his lap. YH finishes his session. He's done for the day. Now, what can Lewis and June do? As I said, Sam, my predictions are a Lewis win, because I know he's an absolute beast on this track. Lewis, cross the line. That'll do it. That will do it. 32-0 from him. Decky did not improve on his lap. Neither did June. So that will do it for qualifying. Actually, we have Jeff's revenge. He likes to start his laps late, doesn't he? Coming across the line. He stays 9th. I think he improved actually to a 32.6, but it was invalidated. So disaster for him. And that's your qualifying session. We're just going to wait for Michael to stop being selfish and to retire instead of staying in the pits. And we can do the official rundown. I hate to do this. I'm going to go to my notifications and turn them off so we can stop covering the leaderboard. So bear with me. Falcon now, the one we're waiting for to retire, but I think we can as we can see, Lewis takes pole position by 2/10, and after that it's very, very, very close. Falcon takes second ahead of Mishimri and Michael. 5th place is Neo. It's a good lap from him. Jume in 6th. I know he expected more, as would definitely for sure Decky in 7th place. He needs to win really to keep his championship alive. So he's not going to be happy with 7th. YH in 8th. Jeff's revenge in 9th. Gary Donegan, the absolute GOAT of all time, in 10th place. As the session now ends. I agree, the top 7 drivers should give us a very, very, very good battle. Oh, don't want to hear my ugly voice. So yeah, there's your grid. Great lap from Lewis. Now this is what interests me. You have drivers like Lewis and Falcon who let's be honest, fancy a bit of a dive bomb. You have drivers like Michael who fancies a bit of a dive bomb but has a championship to think about. You have drivers like Decky who I imagine would fancy a dive bomb, but who I imagine would be not fancy a dive bomb too much, but he's in 7th place, so he will need to fancy a dive bomb. I expect a few dive bombs, I'm not going to lie to you, into this corner which literally begs you to dive bomb. I won't be surprised if, for lack of a better term, we see, as previously mentioned, a dive bomb. Be it from Falcon to get that lead, be it from Decky to get up to Michael, be it from Michael to get away from Decky, be it from Jeff's Revenge to get himself in there, be it from Gary Donegan to get himself in there. The first corner really begs a dive bomb, and it usually doesn't end well. Obviously, I hold these PRL drivers to a very high standard, so I expect not to see a single front wing flying anywhere as we have the formation lap. We're going to get our little spectator toys up there. All of the grid out on Ultras except for Killer Blue, who opted to fit on the super softs. You know, I've realized in this game that if you don't set a lap the entire session, but you do set a lap but it's invalidated, excuse me, if you set a lap but you invalidate it, you have to start on those tires even if the lap doesn't count. So like, say Neo sets like a 31.9, but he invalidated it, so he starts last. He still has to use those tires. That's another glitch I found with this game. I don't know, maybe it affected some of the drivers here. I think Jerry got a lap in. I imagine he did, but yeah, I'm really shocked to see Jerry not choose the super softs. They're definitely the better race tire. So I'm just spitballing, so maybe he's just got a little idea of what he wants to do for this race. This race should be a relatively easy one stop. You pit lap 9 for softs. Take them to the end, or you could be adventurous and pit lap 11 or 12 and go on to the supers. I've done that a few times. I expect if Falcon or Mitch can get ahead of Lewis, then I expect this to be an amazing race. I expect the top maybe 7 to just battle to their heart's content, and if that is the case, as we have 9 viewers and 11 comments, whoa. If that is the case, then maybe staying the overcut might, or the undercut. Actually, the undercut would work very well. If that's the case, the undercut could be vital. The overcut could even work as well. This race is going to be about more than just pure pace, which all these drivers have in abundance. This race is going to be about when you pit. It's going to be about how many penalties you can avoid. It's going to be about how good your racecraft is. And it's going to be a huge test, and it's going to be a great race. I can show you that. It's dry for the time being. Haven't been notified of anything different, so I imagine it'll stay that way as the drivers now line up on the grid. You can see that run down to turn 1. You can see the driver beside you. You can see the position you want to take. 5 lights and off they go. Lewis immediately ducks to the inside. Falcon, he got a good start, so Falcon can't really challenge him, but he'll give it a go. Falcon hangs around the outside just about. He'll keep his nose in there. Will Lewis have to yield coming into the S's? This could be ugly. Falcon does indeed yield. Mitch Emery stays in behind them. Neo has to cut the corner there. I think he might have gained a position on Michael, who swiftly takes it back. So the top 7, apart from June and Decky, all stayed the same. I saw this in Singapore as well. The entire field don't really like to move positions on the grid. Killer Blue got past Gary Donegan, who's had a terrible start. We might see some dive bombs into here, as Falcon keeps it clean behind Lewis. And Mitch Emery has actually stayed right onto the back of Falcon. Is going to have a little look at him, I imagine. Will Mitch go for it? No, he opts to stay behind Neo. Ooh, Neo got very close to the back of Michael there. He almost hit the back of him, and now Decky's going to have something to say about that. Decky Six it down the inside. Neo runs a bit wide. He's going to lose that position. He might lose the position to Joom as well. Not a good start for Neo at all. He's lost the position. Just Revenge, my stick is... Yep, Just Revenge gets him as well. He has front wing damage. That'll do it. He did hit the back of Michael, it seems. And Neo's going to have his race heavily compromised in the opening stages. As we cross the line, Lewis sets the provisional fastest lap. Falcon is in P2. And Shimry ahead of Michael and Decky in 5th. Jube in 6th. So apart from Neo and the 5th and 6th swapping places, the field is relatively the same. Gaps starting to form as we go through these S's. Very hard to follow a car behind through this section of the track. The dirty air, not only does it affect your front, but it affects your rear as well. You'll feel the car sort of lift off away from you. Rick was asking who will be in the pits after lap 1, and his answer has been shown in the form of Neo, who's going to have a lot to do if he wants to fight back. He still has that front wing damage. He didn't change it. I imagine that's going to be race over for Neo. If he continues, then fair play to him, but I can't say I would. With that front wing damage still there. So Mitch looking very feisty on the back of Falcon. Decky clawing his way to the back of Michael. Lewis leads the way, but Falcon keeping in his DRS, and that's good, as DRS will activate the next lap, not this one, the one after that. We'll change this to interval instead. Lewis sets the fast lap of the race, as you'd expect him to do, very quick here, and he's broken that window to Falcon. Falcon's going to need a strong first sector if he wants to keep within a chance of taking that lead off of him. I would still class the most important thing for Falcon to do right now is to keep, well, obviously not to crash, is to keep Lewis in undercut range, because all you have to do is hit lap 8 and you can make it to the end if you maybe conserve a bit. Maybe you don't even have to. If he does manage to get him in that range, then he still has a fighting chance in this race, because it has to be said, on pure pace, Lewis, I believe, has this entire field on chips, as Mitch, now with the DRS open, he's gonna have a go on Falcon. We have slipstream in this lobby, thankfully, so Falcon's gonna feel the need to go defensive. He moves back to the inside. Oddly enough, he didn't defend his position. Mitch is gonna go on the inside. Falcon opts to stay. Oh, as they have a bit of contact, Falcon opts to stay on the inside and loses the position to Mitch. So Falcon ends up in P3. Machinery takes second spot. Lewis is going to love the sight of that. He's going to have these cars squabbling while he drives up into the distance. And now we have the two Toro Rosso cars line astern. This can only end in tears, to be honest. Falcon looking like he could stay to the back of Mitch Emery as Lewis has the fastest lap once again. And he does. Falcon is still in DRS of Mitch, while Mike is not far off the back of these guys either. Mike had a little look to spot his braking zone to alert Falcon that look behind you as much as you're looking in front of you. We're gonna watch and see the effect the dirty air has through these S's. A bit slidey, has to be said, but he's kept it tidy enough. Very slidey, the car. Misses the apex there. Loses the back end. Mitch is going to pull. Actually, Michael gained on Falcon, so not a good sector 1 for Falcon in the slightest. He's going to have DRS on Mitch, fortunately, so Mitch shouldn't be able to. Falcon should be able to defend from Michael, as you can see. We got too close to the back of him there, did Michael. And yeah, Michael Falcon is really sticking to the back of Mitch. It has to be said, as expected after qualifying, these cars are all very evenly matched. Lewis is off on his own, but the top 7 after that, now Neo gone out of the race with that unfortunate. Jim gets a penalty already. That's what I was saying, Jim. He's very good in qualifying not to get a penalty and nail down that banker lap, but in the race it's just a different ball game. As actually, if I can get my camera angles right, Decky's gonna have a go on Michael down into turn 1. He's gonna make it stick. It looks like Michael keeps it around the outside just. Someone's gonna have to yield. It's probably gonna have to be Michael as they bang wheels again. Yep, and Michael yields the position. So Decky, he needed to do that. He needed to overtake Michael to keep his championship hopes alive, and Michael had nothing really to answer there, as Falcon still sticking to the back as much as possible. YH picks up the penalty of his own. Falcon's got a decent run off of machinery here. Definitely sticking to the back of him, as Lewis, has to be said, has left the building. He's left the entire vicinity. Mitch misses his apex there a little bit. Falcon, not the best for him as well, but he's, as I said, still sticking close definitely. Falcon, I'm noticing, is taking very tight, much tighter lines, as Neo picks up a penalty as well. Falcon's taking much tighter lines than Mitch is. The dirt here sort of washes you with understeer, gets you onto that curve. You have to keep it stable, but yeah, Falcon taking very tight lines, a bit wide there, but keeping very close to the back. And I do love it. This is what I loved about F1 2016, is that even if you got overtaken, you could just calm yourself and get that position back. And it looks like that's the same for now. Falcon is going to have a go around the outside. Mitch felt the need to go defensive. Probably should have, because we know Falcon has a dive bomb in him. I do love watching on board as cars go through here. As Killer Blue gets penalty. No penalty. Oh, as Decky gets very close to the back of Falcon. Oh, I love how close all these guys are. It's amazing. If actually, you have to give it to Jeff's Revenge and to Jerry. They've hung on to the back of this I want to say quintuplet of cars. If you have a yellow flag somewhere, I want to watch that. It's Killer Blue. He's going to be out of this race. Decky's gonna have a go on Falcon, is he? No, he's gonna hang tight, gonna keep to the back of him. Oh, but Falcon's gonna have a go on Mitch. Mitch must have gone wide again through that corner. Decky sticks it down the inside. Oof, that wasn't smart. And yeah, just to compound that, Michael goes down the inside. Decky goes back down the inside. This is very rough racing from these two. From Michael takes the position. Decky may have got a bit of front wing damage from that exchange. No, I think he's good. Amazing racing from this quintuplet, as I said. Michael taking that position back, and Decky pits. That's a very late call, a very early pit stop. Jeff's Revenge pits as well, so I doubt it's from front wing damage. No, it's not. He'll probably fit on. He'll fit on the softs. Yep, he'll fit on the softs. And he'll try and take us to the end. He's going to try and get the undercut. He might leave him vulnerable towards the end of the race, but Decky is a very quick driver, and Decky and vulnerable, they don't go hand in hand. Those two sentences, those two words rather. But Mitch still struggling ever since he overtook. We saw this last week in Singapore as well. After Mitch let Falcon go through, Falcon just sort of lost all capacity of pace, and Mitch was right on the back of him once again. The same thing has happened here, but Mitch has sort of pulled up a gap, and now it's Michael who's looking like he might try and move here. I don't like this camera angle, so I'm going to go on board. Falcon does go defensive. Michael doesn't really try to make the move too much. He's going to just stick to the back of him. If I were Falcon, I'd pit right now. Oh, it's we're on lap 7, are we? Oh, maybe it is too early. Oddly enough, Michael didn't dive bomb him there. That's surprising. Maybe there is a bit of civility between the two teammates. Michael didn't just stick it down the inside, which I find very surprising. Actually, now that I think about it, lap 7 is very early. I'm not sure Decky will make it to the end of the race. Falcon pits, as does Mitch. So those two will go into the pits. Lewis is continuing on. He's happy with his tyre wear. As he has the right to be. He's looking solid at the moment. Jari finds himself in 3rd place. I'll tell you what, Jari's in 3rd. Michael is right there. Jari is not far from these guys whatsoever. And Jeff's revenge. I'd love to see where Jeff comes out in relation to these guys, because here we go. That's Falcon, I believe. That's June. No, that's June. Falcon's ended up very far. What happened to Falcon? He's gotten absolutely catastrophically held in the pits, is Falcon. Oh, that's heartbreak for him. He's lost position to Jeff's revenge. He's lost position to June, to Decky. He's lost the chance to overtake Mitch. He's going to lose the position to Michael. He might even lose the position to Jari. Absolute catastrophic for Falcon. He's gone into the super softs as well. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. He's not going to make it to the end on those. I can guarantee that. Strap onto your seats, folks, because this is gonna be wild. I can promise that. Mitch went onto the ultra softs. What is going on? Are these guys two-stopping? It must be. I don't think this is a voluntary two-stop. These guys maybe might have made a mistake. As Michael and Lewis pit. I'd love to see where Lewis comes out. I don't think he's gonna. I doubt he's gonna be in danger of anything. He fits the supers, so he's confident of his tire wear. He's very confident. No, it's the softs. Jari continues on. Jari has those fresh ultras, I believe, so he's happy to continue on. Lewis will come out in clean air. Mitch will get Mike. A lot of people will get Mike. June will get Mike. Mike's all the way down. Jeffs will get Mike. Falcon will almost get Mike. The two Toro Rosso boys were in 3rd and 4th, and after the pit stop cycles find themselves in 7th and 8th. This race is turned completely on its head. Mitch finds himself pretty much where he was, so very lucky boy for Mitch, but he's on the ultras. What he's doing on those tires, I will never know. You know, I think Mitch may be onto something. Maybe I don't think Decky will get to the end. Neither will Jeff. It'll be very tough ask to get to the end. They pit lap 6, going on to 7. So whether they do remains to be seen. As Falcon has climbed up to the back of. Now this is what I want to see. This could be a scrapbook moment for PRL. Falcon on the back of Mike. Mike should know that Falcon's on a completely different strategy to him. Will he let him go? Will he fight him? If I were Mike, I would just let him go, if I'm honest. No, if I were Mike, I would get past Jeff first, then I would let him go, if he gets past afterwards. Mitch has the fastest lap on those ultras as you'd imagine he would. Jari goes onto the supers, onto the softs rather, so he's gonna find himself all the way down the field on the freshest tires, however. Falcon does go for it. Michael doesn't fight it too much, it doesn't look like. He pushes him wide for a good measure. I like that. just to assert dominance there. Falcon takes 6th off his teammate Mike. Bit twitchy from Falcon there, but he's gonna hunt down Jeff's revenge. June gets another penalty. I haven't seen anyone else get a penalty, so June's sitting on 6 while his rivals have none. He's not gonna like that. The Falcon is gonna like the sight of Michael, VGI Michael behind him. Mitch, as you expect, is close down to the back of Lewis. I don't imagine he's gonna even overtake him through this stint. More likely, he'll get maybe within 2 seconds. his tires will just drop off completely, as these tires are known to do. Falcon right on the back of Jeff. I imagine Jeff is two-stopping as well, to be honest, because lap 6 is very early to pit. I imagine Falcon will, yeah, takes the nice line. He'll set himself up into this first corner. Will Jeff go defensive? Oh, Falcon didn't get close enough to him when he opted not to make the move at all. So, calm head from Falcon, but he's going to have to stay another lap behind Jeff. Oh, I love it. I love it. Jeff does not give him the space. And Falcon loses his position to Mike. Does he? Nope. He keeps it. Or will he? He will lose the position to Mike. Falcon, I don't blame him for going for it. Will he go down the inside here? He will. And Jerry's latching onto the back of these guys as well. Very close from second to 8th, I have to say. Falcon's going to have to try again. Unless Michael opts to go down the inside once again. Nope, he opts. Michael, as you can see, wants to stay behind, but he just sort of overtook Falcon out of... He didn't really have a choice, did he? Because Falcon's going to have to try again to get Jeff's revenge. To be honest, I don't even think Mitch is closing on Lewis at all. He's getting away from Decky, but not closing on Lewis, which is kind of weird. Well, maybe he is by a bit. Again, my TV's not the best. Seems Falcon, no matter what he does, just cannot get himself that spade of luck. I mean, he was battling for second, and he's held up in the pits by a lot of cars, and he just lost out a lot. But he's on the super softs, which I find very odd. Gary Donegan gets a penalty. I believe on the sheer act of morality that will be removed, because how dare they? Falcon's going to try again on Jeff's revenge. We go for the move. We'll go off board for this one. Jeff goes defensive. He doesn't want to lose that position to Falcon. I imagine Falcon wasn't too happy about that earlier move, so... Oh! That'll do it. That'll probably do it for Falcon's race, I imagine. And he gets a penalty for good measure. Now with that, I don't know what happened. He just sort of ran. I wish I stayed on board. He just sort of ran to the back of him. Whether Jeff made a move or not, I don't know. Now, what I want to know is, will Falcon yield to his teammate and let him go? I feel like he just won't. Imagine Michael ends his race in 7th while Decky's up in 3rd. That'll have huge implications for this title. Bianchi loses here. Actually, he's not losing too much to Jeff, so I have a bit of fight in him until those supers wear out. No, I think it's too unsalvageable for Falcon. He should have pit for supers and gone to the end on those. May have salvaged something. Michael goes down the inside, barges him out of the way. Falcon, I imagine, not taking that too kindly. We'll watch this on board with Jerry. He has the best view in the house. The battle for 7th, 6th rather, much better than the battle up at the top. Falcon does go defensive. He's not letting Mike through. He does not care. Jerry goes down the inside of Michael. Will Michael go for it? He will. Falcon using the room, to be fair. Michael can't make it stick. Because, yeah, Lewis is really pulling away with this one. Falcon's struggling so hard on that broken front wing. Will he pit? Nope, he stays out. He's going to ruin Michael's race if it ruins his. He does not care. Petty, childish, moronic, and I absolutely love it. Thank you, Falcon. I imagine if Jerry can get past Michael, Falcon will just let him waltz right through. Had to be. He was going to get him eventually. Will Falcon stick his nose in? He will, but he just about backs out of it. I think that'll do it for Falcon's little petty revenge. It was fun while it lasted. Hey, if he gets a good run out of this corner, who knows? He might still have a go at Michael. I think Slipstream is no longer in the session after Killer Blue left, so we're gonna have to deal with that. And yeah, I think that'll do it for Falcon's charge. It's been a really awful past 3 races for Falcon. It seems every time I've commentated on him, he's just not had a good race whatsoever. Maybe I'm his bad luck charm, I don't know. What I do know is that he is losing out massively. It's Jeff's revenge. We have to speak of Jeff's revenge. Up in 5th place. Solid, I have to say. A good drive from him. Falcon's going to defend for his life again against Jari. Will Jari stick it down the inside? Jari opts not to. Ooh, Jari hits the back of him. Whether that caused any front wing damage, I don't think it did, but getting a bit cagey out there. I will give you a synopsis, Samuel, on what happened while you were gone doing something far less important than this race, I imagine. VSR Lewis of the VSR squad, the best esports racing team, has absolutely pissed away with this one, so we don't even really need to talk about him. Mitch got past Falcon, but I think you might have saw this as well. He was holding Falcon up, he was holding Decky up, he was holding Michael up, he was holding Jeff's Revenge, he was holding Harry up, he was holding, not Harry, Jari up, he was holding Joom up, he was holding everyone and their mother up, he was holding me up. By the time the pit stops rolled around, some people pit very early for softs, lap 6. I don't think they're going to make it to the end. Those some people include Decky, I believe, and Jeff's Revenge. Whether they'll make it to the end, I don't know. Then a lap later, Falcon and Mitch Emery came in, and Falcon was held up catastrophically in the pits. So he got the undercut, but he found himself all the way down in where you see him now, 7th. Michael got undercut by pretty much the entire grid, so that's how you see him in 6th. And while that was going on, he was struggling behind Falcon, trying to get past Jeff's Revenge. Falcon could not get past Jeff's Revenge. Falcon got front wing damage off of him, as you can see. And Falcon, in his probably not in the best state of mind, he held up Michael substantially. So Michael is fighting for pretty much 5th place, it has to be said. Unless the two in front, the other guys in front pit like they probably should be doing. Pretty much 5th place is his best bet. Decky up in 3rd place. Hasn't gone well for Michael, and his teammate has been the main denouncer of his entire race. But he's gonna have to strap on his boots and fight his hardest to get back. Look at the gap between Mitch and Lewis. Lewis is absolutely gone with this one. 6-second gap. Well, it's only now Decky's starting to claw back Mitch Emery in. Will Mitch pit? Nope. Stay out. Two Mercedes are having a good race, has to be said. The two Haas cars not having a bad race themselves either. Two Toro Rossos, on the other hand, not so much. Falcon gets himself another penalty with that broken front wing. He's not too far on the back of Jari, who's just gotten through. So, may have something to salvage just yet. If I were him, I would have pit for supers a while ago and just gone to the end on that. You would have got a massive undercut, and then you could do your defensive shenanigans then. We'll stay on board with Michael as he tries to overtake Jeff. I hope people don't find it too annoying that I stay on the onboard camera so much. I don't like the offboard cameras, to be honest. Usually when I commentate, I'm not the one broadcasting as well, so I just stay on board, and I prefer staying on board. So if you want me to stay off board more, then just put it in the chat. But for the meantime, I'm going to stay on board as Michael sets himself up to try and make that move on Jeff. Penalty for Neo all the way down in 11th place. His race catastrophic has to be said. Ever since lap 1 we got that wing damage. Jeff does go defensive. I found that in this league people go defensive and the driver trying to overtake just doesn't push the issue. Like, if someone goes defensive, they better, for me anyways, if the driver in front Michael with the almighty dive bomb, for me anyways, if the driver in front goes defensive, he better stick to the complete inside of the track, because if he doesn't, I'm going to put my car there. If you half-heartedly defend the inside line, I'm going to go for it. And I've noticed that in this league, people just sort of half-heartedly defend the inside line. I don't know. It's one of my observations. I'm not claiming to be better than any of these drivers, because I am certainly not. But if I'm like, I'll just stick it down the inside here. But he doesn't. Just opts to go to the outside. Is that rain I just saw? That wasn't rain I just saw. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? They must be playing tricks on me. Because that would explain literally everything. Oh, it is! That it is! Oh, for God's sake. I wish someone had told me this in the chat. This explains literally everything. No wonder drivers went on to the super softs. No wonder people pit so early. Of course they were going to make it to the end. They just needed to make it to the rain period. I am the dumbest person to ever exist in the planet of Earth. This doesn't really throw the race wide open, but it definitely makes it interesting. So here we go, Michael on the move on Jeff. As I said, Jeff doesn't cover the inside that much, and Michael doesn't force the issue. He's going to try the undercut on him. The rain is coming down quite heavily, has to be said. Maybe a pit stop for Inters right now wouldn't be a bad idea. Jeff goes very deep. Michael, his car is a bit too narrow to really capitalize on it. Wow, this league never fails to excite me. I have to say, I really do enjoy commentating on this. Even if the numbers aren't as high as they should be with the World Cup going on. The excitement is amazing. Quality over quantity, has to be said. Michael's got a great run over Jeff. Jeff's going to go defensive. He goes very defensive this time. Mike just cannot make the move. I don't know how much Mike wants this 5th place. Doesn't seem to want it that much. Gets a penalty. I saw that he turned in a bit too early there. Very harsh, but with this penalty system. But so the way the cookie crumbles, and Mike gets himself a penalty. I believe Jeff has one as well, so evens up the playing field. Gary Donny gets himself a penalty. I imagine the stewards don't have trash cans for Hart. They'll remove that Mike locks up there, so that's gonna ruin any chance of overtaking through here. Lewis, will he pit? That's what I want to know. The RS has not been disabled, so it looks like it's just about dry enough. Division 1 next season most likely will be crazy. I will absolutely take your word on that one, Smithy. Maybe I'll actually be able to race instead of commentate. That'd be awesome. That'll make it even more crazy. Lewis stays out with 12-second gap. Actually, I didn't notice. Mish has lost the lead. Actually, I haven't noticed. Mitch has lost the lead. Rick asked me if he can do his magic tricks. He's going to have to as he pits. I imagine for inters. Mitch completely must have been a mistake, and Decky's taken over that position. June pits as well. Is it time for inters? Jeff pits, Michael pits, Jari pits, Falcon pits as well, YH pits. YH is very close to Falcon, must be said. Gary Donegan not too far behind either. So all these drivers out. Decky might find himself a bit stranded here if the conditions. Falcon gives himself another penalty. Looks like it's time for inters now. Falcon getting held in the pits again with that big glitch of the teammates coming in on the same lap. So his race really not in the best of shape. Actually, I think Gary Donegan's going to get him. Yeah, he is. So Falcon down in Narnia. I'm interested to see if Mitch can close the gap down on. He probably will get Decky. He probably will. I imagine he will. Let's see, Mitch, as we said, very quick in those wet conditions. Will he pull those wet weather shenanigans? Will he actually climb up to the back of Lewis and make this race a bit interesting? I doubt it, but if he does, that'll make headlines. Here comes Michael on the back of Jeff. This battle's been going on for quite a while. And Jari's found himself on the back of this as well. Here we go. Michael goes on the inside. I think he's finally made it stick. He doesn't have the inside for this corner though, so Jeff's going to definitely place his car, but Michael goes on the inside again, but he just cannot do it. Great battle between these two, I have to say. Going at it hammer and tongs, it's been very clean as well. Fair play to Michael. Others would have been more aggressive, but he's kept it nice and clean. I know Jari's a very clean driver as well, so this could be a three-way battle for 5th place. Mitch is going to get there. Yep, that he is. That he is. Will June, his teammate, get Decky? It'll be close. But I think Decky might have kept it just about. So Decky's lost the position he worked. June has got himself a lifeline here that he opted to pit very early. He must have made a mistake that let Decky through. Unfortunately, I missed that. As Michael still stays on the back of Jeff. Yeah, Decky didn't fall too bad. He only lost that one position that he only gained after a mistake, so not too bad. Falcon's gotten past Gary Donegan quite quickly. Niels found himself still absolutely nowhere in this race, but credit to him for persevering. Falcon, almost losing the back end there. Or is it just lag, or is he actually just losing the back end? Oh, Michael, very late call to go down the inside there. Touch of wheels, no DRS obviously. Mitch is closing that gap to Lewis. That gap is 11 seconds now. We'll see what can happen there. Jeff still keeps that position off of Michael. Michael just cannot, for the life of him, pull away. Pull away. Overtake. So we want to realize how wrong I was there. So yeah, let's think of the championship. With 3rd place, Decky will be looking at, I don't know what penalty they're looking like, but with 3rd place at the moment, Decky will be looking at 15 points. That'll put him 21 is the gap, so that'll put him about 6 points behind Michael. Michael's getting at the moment 8 points, so that'll put it to 14. Yeah, I think Decky's likes the position he's in right now. Decky's happy with this position, but what he needs is for Jeff to stay in front of Michael. That's what he needs. If he doesn't, then Michael gets, I believe, 4 more points. And the gap will go from 14 to 18, and that's not enough. I'm completely clueless, am I? 15 points, 12 points, 10 points, not 8, not 12, 10 points. Now I'm going from 40 to 16. Here goes Mike. Mats are not my strong suit, as you can tell. Oh, 22 is the gap. I thought it was 21, so apparently 22 is the gap. As Michael and Jeff side by side once again. Michael just cannot make it stick. He just can't outbrake him. He can't get the undercut on him. He just can't. Whatever he's doing, it just does not work. Jeff has him sorted out, to be honest. Down the inside goes Michael again. Will he get stopped? He will. Jeff gets the much better run, and Jeff is going to just streak past. I think we found Michael's kryptonite in the form of Jeff's revenge in the Haas car. Fighting for that 5th place with everything he's got. Fighting cleanly for that 5th place with everything he's got. And fighting well for that 5th place with everything he's got. Jari looking for his moment to shine, moment to sneak in. Gary Donegan got past Falcon. I missed that one. Absolutely go on, Gary Donegan. Falcon has, I believe, 2 penalties, so unless... I don't think Gary has more than... No, Gary has 2 as well, so... I think Falcon might have 3. I'm not too sure, but... Chick feed our la, Gary. Chick feed our la. These two still aren't done with their battle. So yeah, I believe the gap is 22 points. Just so close to the back of it. Ooh, goes. He's getting frustrated, you can tell. He's getting a bit sick of all of this. If Michael can get past Jeff's revenge, the gap will be 17 points. And that's not enough for Decky. That is not enough for Decky at all. He needs to beat Mike by about 8 points a race if he wants to win this championship. Usually Michael down in 6 would be good for him, but with Lewis to dominate in this race. Oh, Jari's actually going down the inside of Mike. I missed that one. Jari getting himself involved in this battle as well. Decky's running out of races. Michael's running out of laps to pass Jeff's revenge. And we're running out of time in this PRL season 16, round 13 race in USA. It's been a brilliant race, has to be said. Jari, very deep, half spins Michael. Ooh, Mike's not going to be happy about that one. Not at all. We have about 5 laps of this. I believe that's 5 laps of this race left, so I believe Michael will close it back down again, but I don't know where Jari's hat in this championship is, but how badly does he... Oh no, Gary Donegan gets another penalty. No, I don't know how bad Michael's not Michael, Jari's stake in this championship. I don't know where his allegiances lie, but him overtaking Michael will be crucial for this championship. Whether he does it or not, whether he can or not, that remains to be seen, because Michael's stretched his leg and he's chasing down Jeff once again. The cap has gone down to 9 seconds, so Mitch definitely on a rampage at the moment. I'll be alright on board with Lewis. Give him some more screen time. We have 5 laps of this race as of now. Race conditions here are very, very, very tricky. Alright, I'm back. Had to deal with something. Sorry for the long as Michael has really climbed right back onto the rear wing of Jeff's Revenge. And as the laps close down, as the tires get more worn, as his patience grows thinner, the more desperate he gets. And we've enjoyed a nice clean battle, but it won't take too long for Mike to just send one down the inside. Very good on the brakes there, he seems to be, but when it comes to being alongside Jeff, he just seems to lose all this ability on the brakes, and he can't manage it. Just gonna go defensive once more. Mike brakes a bit later this time. Goes a bit wide, but he just cannot make it stick. He's gonna go down the inside, but I think we know what's coming here. Jeff's gonna make sure his car is has the inside line for this one, and that Michael has nowhere to go. And that he does. Oh, we have Thomas Romanadis, Michael's father, in the stream. Well, your son's looking good for the championship. He's gonna look even better if he manages to make this overtake on Jeff's Revenge. We're right on board with him. I do wonder if Michael knows that his father's now watching, and I hope he doesn't embarrass himself, because that would be awful. Wish I had parents who enjoyed watching my league racing exploits. I just have an aunt who hates all things PlayStation related. So Michael's gonna stick it down the inside here, is he? Nope. Enough of me lamenting of my personal life. We have an epic battle of epic proportions to watch as Falcon has made his way past Gary Donegan. This has been a pretty good battle in its own right, to be fair. These two have had quite the battle themselves. Now Michael, surely he's gonna have a go, and he's gonna have to make this move stick eventually. 27 laps. Done and dusted. Lewis, as you saw, got a penalty, but he extended that gap on Mitch, so I think that's the nail in the coffin for the race. Jeff's Revenge, as usual, goes defensive. Blocks his car perfectly, and there's nowhere Michael can go. He goes to the inside again. Jeff gives him the room. He gives him the room, knowing full well that Michael will not have will not be able to do anything with it. Ooh, Michael you can tell he's just getting more and more and more desperate to make that move stick. He just cannot do it. And Jerry, Michael has to be very careful as well, because the more he battles with Jeff, the closer Jerry gets. We saw Jerry stick one down the inside not too long ago. He could do it again. Gary Donegan's got past Falcon. What is this battle that I am missing? Oof, what an epic drift from Falcon there. Just about kept it. We saw him do that in Belgium, but it didn't end well. This is an epic battle we're missing as well. Unfortunately, we can't stay on board with this. Actually, Decky's climbed up to the back of Mitch, so something's wrong with Mitch, surely, because his usual expertise in the rain is not coming to fruition here. If Decky makes this move, it's huge for the championship. Mitch lets him go. Mitch maybe made a mistake, or maybe he let him go. Yep, he let him go. He let him go. Decky up into second place. This is huge for the championship. Decky weaving on the straight to give his appreciation, and that gives a 10-point swing to Decky in this championship. That puts the gap at 12 points. Mike, you need to get past Jeff's Revenge. You need to get past Jeff's Revenge. I don't care how you do it, but you need to do it. I don't know if he knows where Decky is. Maybe it's his father's telling him. Mitch has gotten Decky back past. What happened there? Lewis has won the race. I don't care about Lewis winning the race. Mitch let Decky back through. He got himself a penalty. He might actually Decky might get this anyways. What is going on here? I have completely lost all sense of control over what's going on. Decky does take second place. Jim's gonna come across the line for fourth. Michael, you need to get past Jeff. You need to get past Jeff. That'll do it. How many penalties does Michael have? That's the question. Jeff comes across the line. Oh! Absolute disaster for Michael. Decky's going to come home with 18 points. Michael's going to come home with 8. That leaves the gap with 12 points. And I believe 2 races remaining. Michael had that buffer of he could finish second and Decky could win and he'd still be the champ. He'd still be the champion. But this is gonna swing the pendulum completely. Wow, what a race! What a race! The title is turned on its head. Wow. We were looking at Jeff's revenge and Michael's battle as a little bit of an enjoyable battle to watch and some nice little fan service. But little did we know how huge he got front wing damage. Actually, I found that out a bit too late. He got front wing damage off the back of Jeff's revenge. That's why he wasn't so close to him like he was before. Wow, that's all I can say. I'm speechless. All that Michael had to. I tell you what, I think Michael was gonna have a few words for his teammate Falcon there, for holding him up. What a race! What a race! I think there's absolutely no. You know what I think happened? If we have a few viewers watching, what I think happened is that Mitch let Decky past for second place. Decky felt bad and let Mitch back past. And then Mitch was like, "No, mate, you're gonna finish second." So he purposely cut the corner and gave Decky second place. I have a small feeling that's what happened. Maybe it's just my conspiracy theorist mind running wild, but that has huge implications for the championship. Huge implications. But here, I can't talk about the race without mentioning Louis. Great drive from Lewis. Dominated the entire field. No one had a word against him. Can we just say, Mitch Emery set his fastest lap on ultras. On ultras. Lewis set his fastest lap on softs, a 36.2. That's all that needs to be said, really. The sheer dominance that Lewis showed today. I think we're gonna need to get some podium interviews going, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it seems like the entire grid is Team Decky on this one. I do feel bad for Michael as well. I do feel very bad for him. I'm gonna send some invites. Actually, I'm gonna need to switch account because my other account is the host for this party. Back in a second. Whew, what a race. What a race. Anyway, let me try and get some invites going. Let's see if they're going to join. I agree with Smithy. I do feel bad for Michael. It seems the entire league is quite happy for Decky to take this championship. His own teammate being the forefront of that agenda. We're going to invite Miss Shimmery as well because I would love to know what was going through his head through those last few laps. I think I'm not going to invite Lewis. I know Lewis doesn't like to join the post race interviews. I'm gonna invite. Who am I gonna invite? I might invite Michael. Might as well. Hello, Decky. Mitch, what the fuck? Alright, I have so many questions for that last lap. I have a small conspiracy theory in my head that I'm not sure is true or not. but we'll get to that later. I want to invite Michael because not the best race for him at all. Louis won't be joining, no. You wouldn't want to hear his voice. He sounds terrible. Wow, anyway, I think we might as well get this started. What a race. What a race. Decky, are you... Actually, no, I'm not gonna... I'm gonna go to Mitch first. Mitch, did you give Decky that second place? On the last lap. What do you mean, when? You didn't, did you? The entire lap. Yeah, I saw, and then I saw Decky going down the inside, and you and Lean Mix going down the straight.
I was in lead mix for the last 3 laps.
With plus one fuel. And then.
I was closing on the Louis. It was down to 10 seconds.
Yeah, and then you got that penalty on the last lap that was totally by accident. I'm imagining. You just happen to get one on the last lap when you weren't pushing. Yeah, you happen to get one on the last lap when you were in lean mix not pushing, in the second last corner. Yeah, funny how that happens, eh? Yeah. Well, I have one man in this party who's not going to be too happy about that, but we'll get to him later. Decky, how was your race? You bottled qualifying, has to be said. Did you just think game over after that when you were struggling down in 6th place?
No, I wasn't thinking it's game over, but like obviously that doesn't make things easier. And I was like, in quali itself, I was thinking, what the fuck could I just do? I know I can go like 8 to 9/10 quicker than that, so.
Yeah, but you benefited in the race with that inspired strategy. It was a good strategy for you to pit early for the softs to make it to the rain period, and you got past Mike, Falcon, got past quite a few drivers. You got past Mishimori on that last lap. Did you let Mishimori back through after he let you through, or after he made that mistake, we'll say?
Yeah.
You let him back past.
I don't want to win it like that.
Yeah, but unfortunately you did, because, you know, Mitch just happened to get a penalty on the last lap.
I mean, I knew Mitch didn't have penalties, but I didn't saw him doing that move in the last, or second to last corner.
Yeah. So we'll get to Michael now, who I imagine is brimming with salt. So, Fraud, I mean Michael, talk us through your race. You were battling with your teammate and Mitch for 2nd place, and all of a sudden you're battling with Jeff's Revenge for 5th. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that had huge implications on the title race, because Decky was in 3rd place, and it's crazy how everything turned. If Decky was in 3rd place and all you needed to do was get past Jeff, and you were looking in an even better position for the championship, but all of a sudden Mitch had his little moment that was complete. Sorry, my mic blew up. Can you hear me? So yeah, Mitch had his moment, which was completely by accident, and yeah, all of a sudden it went from Mike's in the best position to Mike has to get past Jeff's revenge, or it looks like, you know, he's gonna be much worse off than he was last week. So I have a question. Now that Falcon's in this party, what do you think of Falcon's defensive driving after you got his front wing damage from Jeff? But what I do want to... Your dad was watching. Did you know your dad was watching? Yeah. Well, you failed him, so I hope you're happy with that. Falcon, you're now in the party. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello there, Maximilian Timberlake. So, talk us through your race. It just seemed to be one downward moment after another for you.
Yeah, I got screwed over in the first pit stop phase.
Yeah.
Because I got held up initially by someone, and then...
It was Jim, I think.
I know, I think it was Mitch, and then...
No, it wasn't me,
and then they didn't release me. And then June came along, and they didn't release me again, so it was effectively having a 5-second stop go. So that kind of ruined it for now. And then, coming in for Inters, I engaged the pit limiter, and it gave me a stop go, which was nice. Those pit limiters doesn't really work, but it just went downhill from there, really.
You had... Unfortunately, we were missing it on the stream because of Michael and Jeff, but you had a great battle with the GOAT that is Michael Donegan.
Oh, God, that was crazy.
You enjoyed that one?
Yeah. I mean, you know your race isn't going great when you end up battling him, but...
What do you see? He got a podium last week. You would have killed for a podium last week. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm only kidding. No, it was actually a really good battle in the end, but I kept checking penalties and stuff to just check. So, for some reason, the AI puts you on like lean revs on the straight if you do that.
Yeah, I've noticed.
But yeah, it just wasn't really a great race. I don't really care anymore about the championship fight, obviously, because I'm not really in it, but I just gave it all I had, really. Yeah, that was it, really.
It seems that on the 3 races I've commentated on, you've scored a combined total of...
I know.
Like, what? 3 points?
I tell you what, it's your fault. You are doing something.
If I had that power, don't worry, Mike wouldn't score a single point. So, congratulations to well, congratulations to Decky and Mitch. Commiserations to Falcon and Michael. You all got absolutely destroyed by Lewis. Hope you're all aware of that.
Yeah, I let him.
Yeah, you let him. Yeah.
We just wanted, you know, to get his first win in PRL.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's a good lad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next week for round 14, which is Mexico. Worst track on the calendar? No, not really. Second worst track on the calendar. Same bat time, same bat hour on the PRL channel. Hopefully Cliffy will stop neglecting his duties and he'll be on commentary with me as well. But if not, then you'll have to be stuck with me. So again, good job guys who did well, but unlucky to the guys who didn't, and see you guys next week.